January kicked off the year with a pretty big bang, bringing some of the finest mobile games we've ever seen, and 2026 is already shaping up to be a game changer. Hello everybody, welcome back. This is Mobile. Here's a couple of weeks worth of new games that will definitely keep you glued to your screen. Now, this has been a pretty long wait, but it's finally here. Sitting at number 1, we have Arknight's Endfield, and right off the bat, Arknight's Endfield is a kind of game that you have to bounce off twice before it even clicks. Why? Look, it's a third-person action RPG wrapped around automation and base building. It's set on this moon station as a setting, and it just really wants you to sit there and just wire everything. So yeah, it's an action RPG, so the fighting and the action's there for sure, but most of your time in this game is just going into setting up production lines, networks, and outposts so that the game runs itself while you explore. And for a pretty good reason, because the exploration part is genuinely strong. Great level design and rewards for just exploring and poking around. It's an anime game, it's pretty busy and it's free to play, but surprisingly polished if you're patient with gacha. 23 gigabytes in total, play it if you can, highly recommend it. Now guys, Gunslinger 2 Ducks and Nukes actually came our way about a week ago, and it's coming 2 years apart from its first game. And it's basically the question, what if like physics were the joke and the whole joke? So the game is a turn-based dueling, worms adjacent in structure, but kind of way dumber in a self-aware way, not deliberate. Your ammunition's not bullets so much as objects, and the gummy physics make every shot slightly unreliable, which is the point of the game. You play this game in short bursts, laugh when something stupid happens, and close it right before it outstays its welcome. That's the real win with this one. This has been nearly 5 years of wait and over 50 millions of downloads to this very day, but thankfully, Ninja's Creed got a sequel, and this is just one of those moments that a game really wants you to think it's cooler than it actually is, and sometimes it almost gets there. Look, the pitch is Ninja Sniper first-person shooter like before. Missions are structured, bite-sized and pretty safe. The stealth is more implied than demanded in the game. You get great weapons and bows, upgrades to do the usual mobile grind dance, and it's actually got a story, it's pretty good. Ninja's Creed 2 is playable offline, which honestly helps its case a lot, but don't expect Hitman or Deus Ex or something stupid, because this is closer to a polished sort of time killer, but a pretty damn good game. Dark December came our way a few days ago, and it's one of those games you install already knowing when it's gonna be. I mean, if you've already played on December, it's the same isometric camera, same screen filling skills, same loop of clearing mobs and chasing better gear. It's positioned as a prequel, digging into the origins of the serpents and the gods, the first game, but the story mostly exists to move you between the fights. I think it's a pretty fine game in my opinion, plays well, and doesn't really give you a reason to stop playing the original if you are already deep into that game. We give it a solid 7 out of 10. And number 5. Immortal is one of those games where your reaction depends entirely on how you feel about AI showing up in a game in places it probably didn't really need to be. So mechanically, it's a familiar strategy RPG idle type of game. You build a team of these myth-inspired waifus or goddesses or whatever you're gonna call them. Idle mechanics, stats, upgrades, repeat. However, the twist is the AI interaction system, which lets you chat with characters outside combat. Fortune telling, lore talk, casual conversations, stuff that you don't usually get in this type of game. For some players, that's the hook. For others, it's the deal breaker, maybe. Anyway, it looks fine, but the whole experience kind of lives or dies on AI. On the art side, I gotta say it's probably one of the best looking games we've seen ever on mobile. Subway Surfers City, on the other hand, is just that familiar muscle memory kicking in before you even think about it. You swipe, dodge, collect, and yeah, it's still Subway Surface. So you might ask, why bother even playing the game? So the difference is the structure, and by that, alongside the classic endless runs, you've got some proper level-based sections tied to different parts of the city, which actually gives your runs a little bit of endpoint. Movement's been tweaked with things like stomp moves, speed pads and shills, but nothing breaks the flow. You could say it looks cleaner, runs smoother, not a reinvention, just a pretty smart evolution. Shill, the number 7, is, it's one of those games you boot up and immediately regret it because everything in the game seems like it's just there to freak you out. So if you would enjoy something like that, you're gonna love it. It's a pretty slow, side-scrolling puzzle type of game where you play as a lone diver that's drifting through a very hostile ocean. No combat, no UI clutter, just moving, timing, and position. On top of that, I gotta say the monochrome art does like most of the heavy lifting, and it works. Definitely not for speedrunners, but great if atmosphere is your thing. Play its demo, the full game's $5.99. Sitting at number 8 with a game called Killbox, a cross-platform combat. Firstly, it's a new developer's work and simply just flexing on cross-platform. It's like someone said, shove PC, VR, and mobile players into one giant battlefield, and let's just see what breaks first. So you get these 32-player wars with tanks, helis, and guns that behave pretty realistically, but mobile aiming in a VR PC crossplay, good luck. If you're into sandbox warfare, experimenting with vehicles and the occasional firefight that somehow works across devices, it's pretty fun in bursts. Otherwise, it's kind of a logistical headache, which is disguised as just a first-person shooter, but a bold attempt.
Has anyone seen the gold pen?
Now, with that being said, if you've been waiting on a decently well-done story adventure game, I don't know about you, but I kind of know damn well my options are between grinding through another pay-to-win, which is also the case with this game, or play this game's demo. Because Bluey's Quest for the gold pen does a pretty decent job of blending, simple Zelda-like puzzles with a pretty good, decent, actual story. But the game itself is an overly simplified adventure. There's no danger, no real stakes, just an excuse to wander around, these cute environments and solve basic puzzles. It's pretty easy breezy, and if you've got kids, they're gonna love it as well. One problem, the game's about $15. Here's a bonus. Neverness to Everness is that one game you've probably side-eyed for months, wondering if it's actually real or just another trailer machine. And here's the thing. The game itself is an urban paranormal RPG in a big city that wants you to do a lot. Story missions, open world, side activities, raids, even mundane life stuff, taking taxis, playing mini games in a bar. The good news, however, is that there is a upcoming beta that's running from February 6th to 20th. But that could be a make or break moment for this thing. Either way, I'm happy it's happening. The idea is pretty interesting with this game. The setting is solid, looks great, and the developers actually just released another trailer for it as well. Check it out just in case you missed it. Now, on another hand, Vice Sniper comes in at 11, and it's a pretty good hit, for sure. So Vice Sniper assumes you've always wanted to be this 80s hitman in Miami, basically sniping through a city where gangs, cops, and sometimes aliens are all in on the same joke. Controls are pretty fine, missions are short, you can shoot whatever you want, however, whenever you want. There's moral ambiguity, of course, but it's mostly just press trigger. Watch bodies fall. It's got gun upgrades, enemies get tougher, and the city looks like a VHS tape and a Grand Theft Auto Vice City. What's better than that? Come on. Have you ever wondered what it's like to survive the apocalypse on a tightrope? Right here is probably your chance. See, Apocalypse Survival New Order here hands you a random character, and if you die, tough luck. No retries, no respawn, just a spot on leaderboard with the rest of the world's survivors. So Think of this game as tactical combat against zombies, factions, and endless waves of bad luck. You got a training mode, which is your safe place to practice, but when the real run starts, it's just a bunch of pressure and it goes on forever. I don't know, I guess if you want to be the end of the world's apocalyptic legend, prove it, maybe this is your chance. Number 13, we have Aliens Need Redheads, which is, in need of no explanations what it is. It's exactly what it says on the tin. 2D runner game where a ginger dude chases his kidnapped crush on rooftops because apparently aliens have a type. So think of it as Subway Surfers meets a low-budget anime romance with double jumps, parkour moves, and some collectibles. Yeah, it's pretty cute, basically harmless, don't expect strategy, nothing deep. This is just pure keep tapping and hope you don't hit a cap type of fun. Now, with that being said, Trails Arena is kind of exactly the type of mobile PvP that reminds you why you stop trusting matchmaking system. And by that, it's a slightly punishing game, pretty fast, flashy, basically turf control, which is boiled down to sliding, boosting, and hoping your opponents misclick. If you enjoy min-maxing little vehicles against other humans who also regret their life choices, this is it. Don't even stick around for the rest of the list. Play the damn thing. It's got decent chaos, minimal polish, there's a garage, skill trees, card drops, basically everything to make you think there is depth. And there ain't none.
Venture into the heart of Europe.
And number 15 with Way of the Hunter Europe. Well, we had a lot of high hopes for this game, but right now it's just a mess that thinks it's a simulation on the surface, but there's something deeper if you're getting past all the 90% of the bugs. The concept, tracking animals in a realistic wilderness, is actually kind of cool. Animal, AI, ballistics, day and night cycles and all, it just wants you to feel like a real thing, but it's a game that's only gorgeous from a distance. Kind of functional in theory, and it's a nightmare in practice. Definitely got the potential. On Android, it's a miss right now, 100%. If you've got an Apple phone playing there, not many bugs there. Otherwise, just forget about this game and come back a couple of months later, maybe it's fixed. Come on, it's not even a free game. Timon and Squad is sitting on the Google and the Apple Store, not available globally yet, but it's close. Look, I don't even know where this thing even came from, but it's definitely hitting way above its weight, this game. It's also a spin-off of a 5-year-old RPG called Action Timon, and apparently it's pretty well made. However, this one on the other hand is quite like Genshin Impact. It's a turn-based RPG with the real fun kicks and with character bonds, because unlocking those special episodes isn't just for the fan service, it's about getting extra edge inside the battles. If Genshin style made you feel some type of way, this will definitely scratch the same itch. Give it a shot. Give it a shot, it's about 4 GB in total. Well look, voting at number 17 is for anyone who's just tired of mobile Metroidvanias. I forgot the platforming part was a must. In fact, this game plays like it should. Movement's pretty tight, the combat's simple, deliberate, exploration's real focus, you land on an island out of nowhere, start pretty weak, slowly open the map by earning new abilities, no hand-holding, just paths, a little bit of story here and there, and your hard-earned skills and gears. There's optional challenges, hidden rooms, and upgrades. It's just all the good Metroidvania stuff, but there's a twist. The twist is it's not a free game, it's a $4.99 purchase. No ads, no nonsense. It also works with the controller. Pretty good game. I don't know, give this game's unofficial version a go and see if it's for you. Hermit Crab Go is a new game from the makers of Acecraft. And it's a roguelike sort of strategy where you assemble a crew of these creatures to wreck other creatures, but it's hands-off kind of fun. You set your squad, hit go, and watch them wipe the screen clean with these minimal little inputs. It's almost perfect for when you want a game that doesn't demand too much brain power but still offers a bit of tactical depth. The retro cartoon vibe also gives it a lot of charm. Pretty good games, free, about 1 GB in total, easy 10 out of 10. Sitting on the Google and the Apple Store for free, number 19 with Jump Odyssey, Chill Adventure. It's basically parkour, but make it just calm. So your job is, you're struggling. A world is filled with these floating platforms and these tricky jumps to test your precision and patience. The game is pretty simple. You swipe to jump, hold to control your distance, and go at your own pace whenever you like, however you like. Pretty easy to pick up, but the challenge ramps up as with each new zones. There's no time limits, no rush, just jumps from this to another block. Pretty solid pick if you're looking for a low-stress platformer. Now, with that being said, at number 20, we have the game Don't Breathe in Space. Don't Breathe in Space is exactly what it sounds like. It's a tiny little indie horror game trying to cram alien isolation and escape room into a mobile indie little package. In fact, here you are, last survivor on a mining ship where everyone else either vanished or got horribly silenced. And your main tool is a flashlight and your brain. In fact, the graphics and the sounds do a lot of the heavy lifting with this one, the tension and stuff. Pretty short game, it's offline, it's free, perfectly fine if you like being creeped in about 10 to 15 minute bursts. At 21, Sega Football Club Champions is basically Football Manager Lite with like almost 1 million downloads with a Sega coat, or basically get rather Japanese paint. You pick a team, shuffle players around, grind through the matches and the transfers. The PvP does exist, but it just mostly feels like a leaderboard flex against other people who spend more time, or I don't really play these games. Solid games, a good rating, but pretty weak if you like expect actual excitement on the pitch. I will give this one a 6.5 out of 10. At number 22, we have Juro Prisonscape Horror. So here in this game, you're stuck in a prison, everything's watching you, and your goal is not to die, find some keys and escape. So the game leans pretty hard into the escape room meets stealth vibe, which is fine if you're like slowly creeping around and checking every corner for items while, that thing, you just saw that guy slowly patrols you. Also, don't expect jump scares every 5 seconds. It's more the kind of tension that nauseates you quietly. Pretty good game, actually. And lastly, last but not least actually, with the game Papillo 2 Around the World. It's as if someone actually took a tourist brochure, handed it to a puzzle designer, and they said, make this a video game. So here in this game, which is a co-op adventure actually, you guide two characters through these tiny dioramas of real-world cities alone or with a friend online, solving puzzles, and that's it. Actually very simple, very harmless type of puzzles, but it's done right, and that is value. Cozy, charming, harmless, co-op, and slightly forgettable. Thanks for watching, let me know which one's your favorite, I'll see you again soon.